Hey guys, EST here, and real quick, the electronics-oriented video that I've been promising to quite a lot of people in a lot of videos, it got delayed because of who would have thought equipment, but we're making this video because, boy, I've got some really good stuff to tell you in this one. Now, if you thought, oh, I don't need to watch this, I don't make any mistakes, I'm perfect, then why are you watching prepper content on YouTube? But if you get to the end of this and every single one doesn't apply to you, then you should be absolutely delighted, so you kind of win either way. You either find a blind spot, or you feel great about yourself. That's why I actually really like this series. So, number one, buying cheap, bad, or wrong pepper spray and then not replacing it when it expires. So for those reasons, just running bad pepper spray. And by the way, if this is news to you that you should always carry it if it's legal in your area, you're going to want to have something between angry yelling and threatening, fists, and lethal force with a gun. And pepper spray is a fight stopper, and those little cheap contact tasers are pretty much garbage. If you want to see me get hit full force with one, and then immediately as soon as it stops, be able to punch someone, subscribe. So what else is there? A retractable baton, those are kind of neat, but they're pain compliant. You're probably not going to break a bone. And then you're talking like baseball bats, which are pretty much just lethal. And I mean, they're effective. You break a bone, cool. I mean, if you want to switch to lethal, hit them in the head. But boy, legal issues. And they're gigantic, but you got plausible deniability, and just generally, I mean, I got one next to my bed just in case, but I've also got 2 pistols. Plus some pepper spray. I've got it all over the house because it's cheap. So cheap garbage pepper spray with low percentages. Forget it. Bad nozzle, bad range. Test fire yours. I mean, there you go. And not a fan of foggers because they take a while to kick in and they can hit you, and indoors they're a nightmare. Oleo resin, liquid stream. Gotta get them. Gel pepper spray, useless. Takes too long to kick in, absolute trash. If you need a fight stopper, you need a fight stopper now. Like, this is a threat right now and you need to end right now, and they're within 15 feet of you. You want the best there is. And the difference between cheap pepper spray, which is, I've seen like $13, and pretty top of the line stuff, that comes in around 26, I think is last I saw. I mean, they're not sponsoring this channel, but Palm is pretty good. So you want high percentage, good stream, reliable, a dispenser that works, won't accidentally go off in your pocket and ruin your laundry, just spend $10 extra on something that could save your life. It's so much cheaper than a gun. I would go get like a 3-pack from a respectable vendor right now. Number 2. Okay, almost nobody watched this video, so I'll just condense it to one sentence. Don't use non-stick, so like Teflon or whatever they use these days, coated cookware on a campfire. You will die. If you want the extended version, go watch the video right before this. By the way, pardon the sore throat. 'Tis the season. So another one, not being able to start a fire because you quote, can't find very flammable wood, or the wood's not cooperating, or however you want to put it. Gathering wood to light a fire is actually way harder than you think. If it's even a little bit damp to the point where you can't even tell by just touching it, breaking it, and the weight, or if it's slightly green, it is going to be nearly impossible to light that on fire. You could use gasoline, like just a whole full cup of it, and it'll just go right out. You need stuff so dry that it looks like a fire hazard. It's really quite simple, but yeah, inability to start a fire is huge. So getting proper firewood is kind of a whole thing, but the general theory is if it's on the ground, leave it. It's not good enough because it's full of, bacteria, dirt, fungi, all that. It's not going to burn very well. Even if it's raining, even if it's snowing, go for the under dead stuff that's like on living trees, or find a dead standing tree if it's not raining or snowing. So undersides of living trees where they killed off the branches and leaves on purpose because they're no longer getting sunlight and they're no longer useful, so why put resources into them? That's what you want to target. It's off the ground, it's in the middle of the air, it's dry, it's dead, it just hasn't fallen down yet. And then dead trees that have fallen over but fallen on something so they're not on the ground. So they haven't rotted, they haven't gotten wet, and they've still got a lot of mass in the form of carbon. That's what's going to burn. Even in the middle of winter, that's what's going to burn. Now here's another one where a lot of people blow this off as like, oh yeah, they're just saying that. They're just covering their butts. That's just liability. I don't really need to do that. When I feel better, I feel better. And I'm of course talking about antibiotics. Now, I do believe at this point, the only sponsor of this channel was Jase Medical. So why not? They're running a sale right now. Link down in the description. They can get you prescribed to you after a check to see if there's going to be any conflicts with medication, any allergies, that kind of stuff. A real doctor will prescribe you and be able to send you in the mail prescriptions for antibiotics, and they've expanded to more. But do you know the reason that antibiotics actually say take them until they're all the way done? Take the full course of them. Even if you feel better, even if the infection goes away, even if you're 100% good, take the rest of them. Everything in your brain is thinking, no, I'm going to keep them in case I need them later. Wrong. The bacteria can come back. You're just killing off X% of them, and that number is not usually very high. You need to keep, punching them while they're down. And guess what? The bacteria that come back, if they survive, if you only get it down to 1%, you killed 99%, that 1% is very likely to be resistant to the antibiotics. So then the next course that you start taking again won't work, and you might spread it to other people where the antibiotics won't work. So then you got the secondary infections and weird stuff about gut bacteria imbalances, and that can cause a life-threatening thing. So it's not magic pill make illness go away. Okay, this isn't a video game and it's not Hollywood. Look into how they really work. Jase's website is actually pretty good. But there's all kinds of YouTube videos about how they really work and why you should be careful, why you shouldn't take them if you don't need them, and that kind of stuff. And how taking the wrong one could be devastating. In fact, one of the big up-and-coming medical channels on YouTube right now, Chubby Emu, he just made one about antibiotics and how it just went off the rails. And it was a several-week process, and they even the doctors couldn't immediately find out what was going on. It was crazy. And that's with full functioning everything, full infrastructure, full technology, full access to all kinds of prescriptions. So be careful. It's not, any antibiotic kills any bacteria, I'll be fine, and when I feel better, I'll stop taking it. All three of those things are so unbelievably false, it could get you killed. Another thing, everybody thinks, yeah, big combat man, manly man, because I watch really toxic preppers that are full of crap and probably also steroids. I'm going to win every gunfight because I'm that much better. I'm going to win every fist fight because I'm that much better. I mean, a little bit of training versus none, you're going to win that fight 9 times out of 10. But if you lose, you die. So yeah, if you're fighting over the last can of beans with some person who broke into your house, I mean, if it's that or starving to death, but here's what a couple other YouTubers have said. I was going to say who it was, but honestly, I've heard 3 different ones say this. So at this point, I think it's just a saying. If I threw $500 cash down on the ground and said, you have to get in a gunfight with an unknown number of people, with an unknown amount of capabilities, unknown friends hiding in the bushes, unknown backup, unknown people around hearing the gunshots, but you're pretty sure that after years and years and years of training and going to the range once a month and getting perfect with your perfectly modified, fit-to-you, kitted-out pistol, are you going to take that chance? And that's why if somebody wants to steal your wallet, I mean, my wallet's effectively full of, $50,000 worth of, credit cards and pain in the butt stuff to replace. Hate to say it, but yeah, I'm getting in a gunfight over whatever's in there. I don't care. But look at my video on carrying a decoy wallet. Kind of speaks for itself, but I mean, I give some good details in there. I'm going to have a gunfight when somebody's already got one and threatened me with it or firing at me. The end. That's it. Anything else, I'll probably deal with it. Unless it will drastically impact my life, my finances, my job, my health, my friends, my family, whatever. And I consider the theft of all my credit cards all at once to be that. So, okay, but post-collapse or post-event or in the middle of a Hurricane Katrina or just, whatever, bad situation, prepper situation. Here's the actual true secret to winning every single gunfight. Don't get in it in the first place. The best way to defeat your opponent is to deny them battle. Walk away to fight another day. I mean, there's all kinds of sayings. Okay, don't get main character syndrome because you play a lot of video games. Or watch a lot of movies. Or watch a lot of YouTube channels that tell you, no, you're indestructible. Woo, buy my book, buy my thing. Support me on Patreon. I think that's called main character syndrome. And that doesn't work in real life. You're not good enough to win every single gunfight. Even competitive gunfighters aren't good enough to win every gunfight. Because anybody can get ambushed from, a flanking angle or whatever they call it. I am really, really, really good at airsoft. We're talking KDR of 10 plus. And wouldn't you know it, once in a while, somebody sneaks up behind me and shoots me in the back. Just saying. Also, go play airsoft. Paintball is stupid. You can dodge those rounds actually in midair. They go too slow. Airsoft's about triple the FPS, give or take, double maybe. Much, 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 much more realistic. Get a full metal gun, rental gun or something, and just go play with your friends. And very enlightening. You will learn very quickly you're not as good as you think you are, and you'll also gain very, very valuable experience about what worked, what didn't, and that kind of stuff. So definitely do that. Avoid fights. You're not as good as you think, and if you think, anybody who comes after me or whatever, I'll just shoot them. I'll just shoot them all. I'm just that good. How many gunfights do you think you're going to be in before you lose one? What's the real number? What do you think? So anyway, I think you get it. If you disagree, quite honestly, you're delusional. Another thing that'll get you killed, this is kind of high level. I wanted this to be very specific, practical, short stuff, but my other videos, by the way, go way in depth. So if you like 60-minute podcast style stuff that really goes into detail, not just surface level stuff that's interesting to consider and contemplate on your own later, that's more what I do, but I wanted to get these really simple ones out there that didn't really merit their own detailed video. But this next one's a little bit different. But it's the whole idea that electronics have no place in any kind of survival thing. You've got sticks and stones and ropes, and we're going full caveman because you can't count on nothing. Okay, everybody, raise your hand if you carried around a cell phone for at least 2 years and had absolutely nothing catastrophic happen to it. They're built to be virtually indestructible. And I see you all with your hands down, iPhone users. Oh my God, get literally anything else. So sparing that overpriced defective garbage, I've still got GPS units where as long as the batteries didn't fail, and you could just disconnect the batteries and keep them at 50%, just saying, they're lithium. But yeah, I got Garmin GPSs that still work after 10, 15 years. And they've got a full database of all of America. You can get the updates for free in some of them. 2 of them I got at a thrift store for $3 a piece. I've got a little $15 solar panel that can charge it at 5 watts continuous on a good sunny day. And ta-da, I'm now faster, better, more capable than any paper map. If anything happens to it, I've also got a paper map. If it works just fine, I don't know. Use the paper map to eat off of or burn it or something, I don't know. Now don't do that, it might fail at any time, you never know. A couple 18650 batteries, 1 or 2 flashlights that run off of them. We're talking ultra bright, mid-grade quality, durable, just nice flashlights, not top of the line at all. And then a used cell phone in a protective case with a local storage, micro SD capabilities, so about that old. Of every survival document, you could dump all of Wikipedia to it, no joke, it'll actually fit. Training videos, medical guides, foraging PDFs. Then you've effectively got another backup flashlight. You've also kind of got night vision because some cameras can kind of do that. Take pictures of places instead of trying to remember them. Like landmarks, sources of water, have offline map programs that follow your GPS in real time. All of that, and some preppers are telling you, no, that's all tech, it's all broken. Just because you're old and you don't work in it, because I work in IT, and you don't understand it and don't want to learn it, doesn't mean that you can write it off as this is bad, it's useless, it's just going to break. You don't need a phone. What's a phone going to do? What are you going to call someone? No, I'm going to badly out-survive you. We have technology and use it every day for a reason. Just because there's no data doesn't mean the thing in your hand is useless. But, even to get to my list, okay, so we got the batteries, the flashlight, a couple other things. I'm not going to list the whole thing. I'll do an electronics video, dirt cheap electronics or something in the near future, because people were way asking for that. But a basic electronics setup, all protected, waterproofed in a bag, batteries, a way to charge it, redundancy, spare wires, charging circuits, a couple clamps to trickle charge and jump a car. You're looking at right around $100. So for those of you who just dropped $120 on a knife, I think you did it wrong. I'd rather have a knife than that entire list of tech, but I don't think I own a knife that's above $20, but I do own a $3 sharpener. Just saying. Controversial hot take there, but I've seen the performance numbers. I've seen people in real world tests. 10 times more expensive is not 10 times better. It's about 2 times better. I'll just bring 2 knives. But yes, electronics are your friend. They are just about the most useful thing you can have next to, I guess, a way to start a fire, find, get, and filter water, and anything involving shelter, and then just a knife. The next thing on the list is some useful electronics that you can see in the dark, so that you can just everything. So don't get into that mindset that, oh no, this is useless. But also, I have immense technical skills across many different platforms, from mobile to, Windows to alternative stuff to high level, corporate gear. So that'll comes naturally. I know how to do it. Now, if you got something you don't know how to use, that's useless. So I will throw that out there, but take the time to learn, because it's important is how I would definitely wrap that up. But generally, just don't mentally write off electronics because it's hard and you don't want to learn it, and other people who are similar told you the same thing. So the next thing that'll get you killed, and I have mentioned this at least in other videos, but it's really worth cycling around, because this is just the lightning bullet point, you don't know what you don't know intro kind of video. So like I said, it's worth repeating. Water filters aren't magic. You can't just take a water purification tablet and ta-da, it's drinkable, although that's about as close as you'll get actually. You can't just put, 1 tablespoon of bleach per however many gallons and say you're good. And you can't just run it through a Berkey water filter or whatever and be like, everything that comes out of there is drinkable, not going to kill me. Those are small enough to filter viruses. Not many of them are. Life straws, those are, but those aren't amazing. Sawyer's, they're okay. All the big brands, cool. But dissolved molecular compounds, small individual molecules, they're getting right through. if I took gasoline and poured it into your water and then said, filter this and drink it, you would die. Paint thinner, acetone, isopropyl alcohol, stuff from people's garages during flooding that would dissolve in the water, pesticides, runoff, so farming fertilizer. You don't just have to worry about large clumps, or microscopic but relatively large clumps of like lead and heavy metals and sand and bacteria, amoeba, fungi, and spores and stuff, viruses and all that. So you can't just boil it and drink it. You can't just filter it and drink it. With the exception of certain types of filters, I'm still trying to make a water filter video, like what ones do what, but man, it's a lot of research. I'm a little short on time lately, but it's coming. But for now, just remember, if you can, reverse osmosis or distillation. Pretty hard to do, but if you think it's suspect and you got nothing but time, that's the way to do it. So the last thing to cover in this video that will get you killed as a prepper that a lot of preppers don't know about is voting Democrat. And that's it for this video. I've got other kind of similar videos and, like I said, longer form content, so feel free to check that out. And I've got an amazing electronics video coming out that will blow people's minds. It's like my how to run a freezer off of a car battery video, except actually good. You know what? Don't go watch that video, but go watch the rest of my content if you're interested. If you made it this far in the video, obviously you're into this kind of stuff, so feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.